All right. Hey guys, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal. How you guys doing this evening? Man, for me, I'm normally off, but I had to work today, so I'm kind of tired. Then I got to turn around and go to work tomorrow. So I'm on a 6 day work schedule. But that's okay. That is okay. And I still get the same amount of money either way. I work 5 days, 6 days, 3 days. Uncle Sam always seems to take it anyway. It really don't even matter. But you know what? That's okay because today I'm on a podcast show with man, you guys. I'm back in Iowa. Can you guys believe that? Hey, from All Out Paranormal from Oelwein. Did I say that right?
Oelwein.
Oelwein, Iowa, with Mr. Rex Nelson.
Nielsen, yes. Correct.
Nielsen. Are you related to Leslie?
I couldn't tell you.
The actor, the one that played in all those airplane movies?
No, name spelled differently.
Oh darn! I tried. I tried. I tried. Okay. Well, you know what? Hey, Mr. Rex, tell the world a little bit about you before we go to commercial. That's way they'll know what to expect when we come back.
All righty. I'm Rex Nielsen. I retired from law enforcement after 31 years in 2019. Now I do my paranormal and my art full time, and I'm loving it. I'm more busy now that I'm retired. I've always got something going on. Whether I'm doing, I just got back from an event in Abbeville, South Carolina, where I was one of the keynote speakers and did a presentation there. I'll be going to another one in July in Washington, Georgia. I'm a big man. I'm 6'7" and about 330 pounds. So it's not hard to find me anywhere.
Wow. Did you, man, I hope you played for the Cowboys at one point in time. They need you.
I know. Unfortunately, no.
Wow. 6'7"?
Yes.
God, did you play did you play football in high school, college?
I played basketball, and I was actually a walk-on for the University of Northern Iowa. And I made the team. And I played 4 games until I hurt my knee, and I never, that was it. My college career was 4 games.
4 games and how many points?
In the 4 games, I was a little over, I believe, if I remember right, this is a long time ago because I'm older than I look. I believe it was 121 points in the 4 games.
Oh man, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, it could be worse, but it's not bad.
And I wasn't a starter either. I was not a starter.
Oh wow. Yeah, okay. Man, 6'7", dude. I wish I had your height. Man, that is a tree. You're a tall guy. I mean, ooh wee. Well, you know what, man? It's an honor to have you come on the show. I really appreciate you taking out of your time to come visit me, and
Absolutely.
and everybody. But hey, guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial. Then we got to pay some bills. Then we're gonna come right back and talk to Mr. Rex Nielsen out of Iowa. So hey, you guys be right back in a minute. Right back.
I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of the stars make me dream. Gentlemen, may I have your
All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to the show, man. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, Saturday edition. And tonight we have Mr. Rex Nielsen. I hope I said that right. From All
Yes, you
Out
did.
Paranormal from Oelwein, Iowa. Man, what is going on in Iowa?
Oh man, yesterday we had some horrible tornadoes and stuff go through, and they're supposed to start up again tonight. We're under a yellow emergency advisory, so it'll be another interesting night.
Oh, man, how often those alarms go off that wake you up in the middle of the night?
Quite a bit. I mean, we had them go off last week, and because they had tornadoes and straight line winds come through last week, and I, I've I've lived. I bought this house 15 years ago. Yeah,
Hmm.
and man, when that siren, and it's right. I mean, on the corner up here, it's like it's sitting right in my front yard, and it went off, and I've never had it go off that long. I bet it went for 5 minutes straight.
Oh, wow. Man, make you want to throw a rock up there and tell it to shut the hell up. I'm sleeping.
It went.
Uh,
We gathered up, went in the basement, but I've never heard it go that long before. And I know that there was funnel clouds spotted on the outside of town.
hmm.
So, but we, nothing happened. No, we didn't have any damage or anything. So,
Mm. So it's more of a warning than an actual sighting.
yeah. I mean, it was close enough to make it go off. So I believe it was like a mile and a half out of town. So it was close enough to for them to set the warnings off.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you know what? Man, I wish they had a warning for every time something paranormal happens in my city. I bet you that bad boy go off every 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah. I would love to invent something like that. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
That would be cool. But hey, man, tell the world a little bit about Rex and how he became a paranormal investigator, man, and an author, and all this good stuff that you got going on.
Um, I got into the paranormal um, when I was 4 because um, I had two entities show up in my room at the age of 4, and they were two um, figures, and they looked like smoke. And all I could see was
Mm,
two round spots where their eyes were. Um, and I could hear them in my head. And they told me the most horrible, disgusting, vile things. And to this day, I've never repeated them, and I will not repeat what they said. The only thing I've ever told anybody is that they wanted me to kill my baby sister.
that's weird.
Yep. And this this happened every single night, and they would show up at the same time. And the more I would ignore them, the more active and violent they got. So one day I was out with my mom,
Hmm.
and I was good that day. So I got like 6 new Hot Wheels. And I had the biggest room in the house, and it was upstairs. It was a 10 by 10 room. And so I'm a little OCD. So I took all the Hot Wheels and I lined them up on my dresser, which was clear across on the other end of the room from my bed. The I called them the bad ones. They showed up, and they were extremely agitated and mad with me that night. So I actually turned my back to them and was ignoring them, and they just kept getting louder and more agitated, when I turned around, the Hot Wheels started shooting off the dresser towards me. And we're talking 10 foot away. And they hit this invisible wall and fell to the floor. And all six of them came at me. And at that moment, two more entities showed up and they were at the foot of my bed. And I could just see, they were shadows, just like the bad ones. But I could see the man had the outline of a bowler. You could tell he's wearing a suit. He had a cane. The female that was with him, you could tell that she had a bun up in her hair. You could tell she was wearing a dress and had a big bustle. And I could hear them in my head, and they said, "Don't worry, we're here to protect you." This went on for 4 straight years until we moved away. And it was every night, 365 days a year. When we moved away when I was 8, we moved to Oregon and then to Idaho, but it all stopped. Nothing happened until about 5 years ago. I was sitting in my room and I was reading, and all of a sudden my room fills up with this beautiful orangish yellow light. It just envelops the entire room. Well, I'm reading a book and I'm doing one of these, because you're sitting there reading, and all of a sudden I'm like, and at the foot of my bed were the good ones. And I could see them as plain as I can see you right now.
Really?
The man had a bowler on. He had a handlebar mustache. He had a pinstripe suit with the high starched collar. He had spats on. He had a cane. The female, she was absolutely beautiful. She had her hair up in a bun, wearing a royal blue dress with a bustle. And it seemed like an eternity. We just stared at each other. This is 50, well, I'll be 59 in June. So this is, 55 years later, 53 years later that they show up. But I felt such peace and such calmness and such, empathy with having them there. Then all of a sudden, the gentleman reaches down and he touches my right leg. The female reaches down and she touches my left leg. And I, for the first time, actually seen them speak. And they both looked at me and smiled and said, "Don't worry, we'll always be there for you." And that's when they floated back into the light, and the light went away. And
wow.
So in 2011, I started All Out Paranormal with my 2 boys. And been doing it ever since.
That sounds like grandparents to me.
I looked them up, and I went through old family photos and stuff, and they don't look like anybody on either side of the family. So I don't know. It's just, it was cool. I mean, after 50 plus years, they show up and I can actually see them, which was the amazing part, to actually see the expressions on their faces and how much they did care for me and how much they were going to protect me.
Yeah. I mean, grandparents, it could be a generation or 2 back.
Yeah, because they were dressed like from the early 1800s.
Yeah.
That's how they were dressed. And
you'd be surprised, bro. You'd be surprised. People back in those days are a hell of a lot stronger than individuals today.
Oh yeah.
Their work ethic are different. The women, the way they maintain their lifestyle, it was so much put upon the women. The men, we've been doing what we was bred to do for thousands of years. Not cook. Take care of the house, make sure there's food on the table. That's basically what we do. But the women, man, wash the clothes. The lifestyle is so different from back then. They are so much stronger back then than they are today. It's man, and I can see why their energy is so strong because they were strong-willed people back then.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
so that is what's so cool. About grandparents. They come to visit. Their loved ones. And most people always say, well, why is that my great great grandparents can come visit me, but my mom can't? And you will have to go back to the lifestyle that they lived and how strong willed these individuals were back then. And that's why they were able to generate so much energy to show themselves. This is just my theory. I really
Hmm.
don't know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I wish I could find a woman like that today, man, that represents my great great grandmother and the way that they worked, the way they took care of the house, because so much was on their plate at one time. Then turn around, go to bed at hell 8, 9, get up at 4 and do it all over again.
Hmm.
Woo, man. Yeah. So it could have been your grandparents, man. It's possibility. But I am going to ask you, Rex. We're going to have a good dialogue today. We're going to talk about all things paranormal, from mediums to religion to paranormal itself to the second to the next generation of paranormal investigators that will eventually take our place. It's gonna go, man, all over the place. But bear with me, and we're gonna have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But today, guys, hey, I like to thank everybody that's on all the different platforms that are on today. Those of you that are in the UK or in the country of Japan, thank you for joining us, even though it's late over there. But thank you if you guys choose to come on. Now, all you guys that are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and X, welcome also. You know what I'm saying? 10 different platforms that we're streaming live to tonight. So I hope you get a big audience. And hey, all you guys that are out there, please feel free to come on and ask Mr. Rex a ton of questions. Let's let's make sure he having an Arsenio Hall moment today. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Let's make him say, hmm, okay. That's an Arsenio Hall moment. Rex,
Yes.
man, being a paranormal investigator, and I ask everybody the same questions. Sometimes I might tweak it a little bit, but I'm going to ask you the same questions. You know, with the state of, paranormal today, man, with all the negative and positive energies that are out there, man, what do you see paranormal investigators or ghost hunters, which to me is two different things. What do you see where we're going to be within the next couple of years? I mean, because right now there's a lot of bickering, a lot of fighting, a lot of animosity towards each other. So what do you see? Do you see any unification coming on anytime soon?
You know, I hope so because after last year, I wasn't going to do anything paranormal this year. I had had enough of the drama and the backstabbing and the high school bull that went on, and I it got so bad it wasn't fun anymore. You know, um, but I have too many people and too much opportunities came up for me to. I was going to take the whole year off. I wasn't going to do
Hmm.
anything, but that changed, which is great for the good. But I hope the way things are now, the state of things, if we don't start putting the bickering and the the nonsense and the drama behind us, we're going to lose a lot in the field. Everybody's going to want to, nobody's going to like anybody. And the thing is, everybody wants to be on TV or something like that. I've got 6,000 followers, and I've never been on TV. I go out and do what we're meant to do. Go out there and explore and investigate and try to bring it to light to everybody. But there are people out there that are just making that really difficult. And I'm hoping that more people start to see it, because obviously you and I see it. And I know because I had to thin out a lot of people that I associated with, because I seen their true colors come out. And I don't want to be a part of that. The nothing but positive is what I want to surround myself with. And I mean, since I did that, this year has just been phenomenal. And then all of a sudden, you call me, and I've been following you for years. I was like, holy moly.
Yeah, I'm one of those in the shadows type guy. I really don't post a lot on other people's Facebook page or website unless it's something that's proactive and something that's good. So I do follow a lot of people for multiple years, and I just sit back and just watch them grow.
Mm-hmm.
I watch them evolve, and I watch them, every now and then I might say hello. Sometimes I don't. But you know what? If I'm not saying anything, that must be something positive. Because only time people would say something, especially me, uh, if it's negative and I have to voice my opinion, and so hey, what you doing is pretty good. So keep up with the good work. Rex, it's really hard with all the negativity. But you know what? I always seem to blame a certain group of people that are in California for all this, you know, you know, for all this negativity that's going on in the world. Especially with the paranormal field and the way things are now. But you know what? I can't always blame Hollywood for every little thing that every individual that's a paranormal investigator do.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be fair. Are
Right.
you with me on that? It wouldn't be fair. So everybody has to take accountability for themselves.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and I'm not saying that Hollywood, because Hollywood has a big part to play.
Mm-hmm.
Because they demonize everything. Everything's a demon these days.
Yes.
And it's really not the
Well,
case.
no, it's not. And I express that a lot. I mean, I have done literally probably hundreds and maybe thousands of investigations, and I have a 3,000-mile radius around Iowa where I've gone and investigated. And it's evil and demonic is way, 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 way overused. Grumpy, I've run into a few grumpy ones, but when you
Hmm.
start, you truly know, as us as investigators and being in the field, you know when something's evil or demonic, because you go, whoa, wait a minute, this is way out of my league. I will put you in
Exactly.
contact with somebody, but you know, it's it's not what I do anyway. I mean, I have plenty of people that I know that can come in and help with that situation, but
Hmm.
it's got to be less than maybe 1% on all the everything that I've done. But like I said, we come in contact with grumpy entities quite a bit. But
Right.
the term is way overused, and it's for ratings and sensationalism, and that's why they do it. And unfortunately, everybody, if you're out there listening, it's not like it is on television. We go and could sit for hours and hours and hours and do nothing but hear our stomachs growl or somebody fart in the distance or something like that. That's it's
Right?
it's
Oh my
it's not what
God.
you see on TV.
You're absolutely correct, Mr. X. And as much as I try to explain to these youngsters that look up to me and ask me, hey, I want to be a paranormal investigator. I want to be just like you. Can you take me on one? And I always tell them, hey, you know what? I don't mind, you coming on as a guest. I can show you how things work, but for you to want to in order for you to be a paranormal investigator, you, you know, that's what we do. We investigate. Investigating starts from the bottom and works its way up. You know what I'm saying? So when you investigate, that requires a lot of research because research is a part of investigating.
Oh yeah.
Investigating requires long hours. Even though, shoot, I've been in locations where I've 5, 6, 7 hours, then turn around and had to go to work at 11 the next morning.
Yep.
So you really have to be dedicated. Your heart is really got to be involved in this. So I let them think about it for a while, and then a couple of days will pass by, and I will ask them, "Are you still interested?" "Oh no, Mister Terry. I got so much to do, and all this." I'm like, okay, that before you become an investigator, make sure that everything in your life that you want to do, make sure you do it because once you become an investigator, it will consume your life. That would be so much out there that you would have to do, you would want to do. And I'm not saying that it's not enjoyable because it is. I enjoy what I do. A lot of people that I talk to enjoy what they do. But it's a lot of hard work. You got
Yes.
to be dedicated. Dedication is something that, guys, you have to be, and you got to be dedicated. 100, not just halfway, but 120%. You got to be dedicated. And I always tell people that. It's just one of those things that you have to be, because here's the thing: once money get involved in it, you don't have a choice. Because every equipment that you buy, if you're not dedicated, it's going to be sitting on the shelf.
Yep.
You're not going to be using them. You're going to look over there and say, "Man, I could have used that $200 for that camera for something else."
Mm-hmm.
And you you can't second guess it. You got to make sure that this
Yes.
is what you want to do.
It's
You know,
and it's it's rewarding. Like if I'm doing an event and I'm leading an investigation or something, I'll tell everybody, hey, this is going to be one of the coolest things you're ever going to do, but this isn't an amusement park ride. There
hmm
are inherent dangers to what we do, and you need to listen to the people that are in charge. I've thrown people out for playing the old, I'm sorry, grab ass and the high school crap. I've thrown them out. Well, I paid to be here. Well, you're gone because you were told at the beginning this is what's going to happen. I can't express it enough that it is one of the coolest things you're going to do, but you need to have your head on straight and you need to listen to the people that are in charge, or
yes,
you're going to
sir.
end up coming home with something that you don't want to come home with.
Yes, and that's a lot of things that people don't understand. Man, there is a lot. The situation can turn left quick.
Very, very.
And the thing is, you don't even know that it turned quick until you at home or a couple of days later when you start hearing knocks or things start banging on your damn door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you think that's, oh man, that scares the hell out of you. if you got something knocking on your door and you open up the peephole and there's nobody there, and yeah, then if you think your head hasn't wandered because of a movie, try that.
Yeah.
Your head will really get the woo real quick. You
You
know what
know,
I'm saying? So,
I tell people, you're dealing with something that you have no control over. You can't see them. They'll be there, and the grumpy ones can make your life. They can make havoc come and happen in it. They can
hmm
bring on depression. It's like having a monkey on your back, and the deeper that you get negative thoughts, the stronger that entity will stay with you. And
hmm
I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. I've been doing this a long time.
oh wow, yes. Now, Rex, there's so many different types of paranormal investigators out there. There's people that validate. Oh, Amber Alert.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, Amber Alert. There's so many different types of paranormal investigators out there. There's some that that validates. There's some that deal with the dark stuff. I mean, there are some out there that only do residential. There's some out there that does historical markers and historical markers only because they're dealing with the historical society and they want to know what's going on in their locations. Uh, what exactly are you guys?
we started out. We still do it. We love the residential for helping people, um, especially if there's children involved. We'll we'll be right there to help. But right now, all out paranormal is me and my wife. That's it. My two boys have branched off and doing their own thing. Um, but now I do just about a little bit of everything. I become a jack of all trades, being in it and being invited to different. I've done historical, I've done Waverly Hills, um, I've done Villisca Axe Murder House. I've been around and done a lot of different things, and it's kept it for me. It hasn't put me just in one category. It
Mm,
I can go ahead and do just about any investigation that comes up because I've basically done them all, and especially in the last few years with the speaking engagements that I've done, and the word gets out there, and people come and find me and say, hey, um, we have this old fort that the historical society wants us to check out, and I'm right there.
okay, cool. So you're a jack of all trades, man. That you know
I
what?
try.
It's good to be universal.
Hmm.
Because you're able to help out with multiple situations if need to be. You don't need to make that phone call to certain individuals. I mean, you should be able to handle it. And so on and so on. You know, uh, the, how do you feel about cemeteries?
You know, it's really cool because where I live, there's a lot of cemeteries around me, and all me and the boys did one summer is cemeteries. That's all we did. We did nothing. We didn't investigate anything else but cemeteries. And some of the stuff that we got, because there's one about a quarter of a mile away from me that's probably 3 or 4 football fields long.
Oh wow.
It's got a Vietnam um, section. It's got a Civil War section. It's got a Korean War section. It's got a World War I, World War II section. It's got an infant cemetery in it, and it's yeah, we've gotten some really interesting stuff, and it I as long as you go and you respect, which you need to respect everything that you go into and do anyway. Um, like in Iowa, you're not supposed to be in a cemetery after dark.
Hmm.
It's illegal. But fortunately, for what I did for so many years, I mean, we did get caught a couple times, and I know either the police officers or the deputy sheriff, and and they say the same thing. Okay, that's cool. Just don't disturb anything, don't do any damage, and of course, we would never do such a thing.
Right.
And but it's interesting. We've caught many different things, even during the day. Hearing voices. You're sitting
Yeah.
there, and all of a sudden you're hearing a female ask you a question, and you're like, "Well, that's interesting."
Yeah. I mean, because that a lot of people are, a lot of people when they think about, paranormal, they always think, oh man, it's always got to be dark.
Yeah.
To darkness. Don't get me wrong, darkness doesn't play a part in the paranormal.
No,
Only thing darkness does is put that fear factor in you. It gets you
exactly.
that fear factor, and and sometimes it heightens up your senses. But I mean, darkness has nothing to do with anything paranormal. It can be
No,
day, night, twilight, in between. If these guys feel like compensating, that's what they're gonna do.
yeah. And
You know what
I
I'm
tell
saying?
people too, you don't the a house doesn't need to be 150 years old to have a spirit in it. You can have a brand new home, and just because of the land that you've built the house on, or there's attachments to things that you buy, antiques and such. You know,
Right.
and I tell everybody it doesn't have to be something that's, in the movies all run down and cobwebs and all this other stuff. That's not, again, that's just Hollywood for you. That's not the real world.
Yes, sir. The land you live on now, it was never our land from the start. So when people trample on other people's land and they get angry, and how you think they're gonna, you know, vent? They're gonna, make sure that that hey, I'm here. I was here first. Do tread lightly. If you're gonna live here, some of them are cool. If you're gonna live here, respect my property because I own this property 200 years before you did, or anybody
Exactly.
else, or any other bank. So let's have a little respect here, man. They might not talk to you like that, like the way I'm talking, but they find ways to get their point across.
Yes.
If it's not throwing something against the wall, or then throwing water in your face while you sleep, trust me, they're gonna find a way to make sure that they get your attention. So hey guys, so it doesn't make either way. If they want to vent, they're gonna vent. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Uh, one thing that really hurts me about the paranormal is I don't know how you feel about this pay to play thing, dude. The pay to play. I mean, dude, there are so many locations out in the world we can play, but we don't have to pay. And
Yeah.
trust me, Rex. I understand some of these big locations. I know what they're doing. They got bills to pay, but everybody got bills to pay. I mean, there's a place here in Texas that charges $700.
Yeah.
No.
Villisca, the axe murder house here in Iowa, you've got to have an X amount of people, and the house isn't that big. So, when I went, we had too many people and there was too much contamination because you can hear anybody from anywhere in the house. I mean, the house is tiny. But and it's also a lot of money to have an overnight there. Just to do like a tour of it is a significant amount of money, and it's like a 15-20 minute tour, and that's it. You're done.
Mm. Well,
And there's a lot of places that I've now Waverly Hills. You had to have 10 people, and it was $100 a person, which was not bad, but you didn't get enough time. 5 hours is not enough to investigate a 5-story building that's 275,000 square feet. And I drove my motorcycle from here to Kentucky to go to Waverly Hills.
ooh-wee. Uh, Negative, Ghost Rider. That pattern's full. I can't. Man, I don't know if I could do that, man. That is a lot of money, And some of these locations, some of these locations, it's not. You might not get your money's worth,
Right.
But that's what the field is all about, you know. And every paranormal investigator, we've talked about that, that the pay to play, it's it could be a win-win situation, but it could be a lose-lose situation too.
And
So you act. Go ahead.
there's some I won't go investigate because the plain fact that I can see that you need money to keep it going and yada yada yada. But when you're asking $300, $400, $500 a person, come on. I mean, you know what? Then it's just off my bucket list. And fortunately, the people that I know in the paranormal and stuff, like me going last weekend to the Belmont, I was part of the event, didn't have to pay to investigate the Belmont and the 3 other places we investigated.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, there is a lot of places out there that are incredible places to investigate, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, man. Texas is so unclaimed, man. Texas is so big. I mean, there are so many locations where you can go and investigate and have fun and catch good evidence and not pay a dime. But there are some out there where it would hit your pocket. It hit your pocket hard. It would hit your pocket like you drinking Kentucky Deluxe straight out of the damn bottle.
Yep.
It literally will hit you, and and it would take a while for you to recover from that. And I'm like, no, man. I mean, no. I think the most I've ever paid to go into a location is probably 350, and we divided that up between 6 other individuals, which is not
Yep.
bad. You know what I'm
And
saying?
you know,
It, it
and in the travel, I mean, I drove over 2,000 miles to be in Abbeville, South Carolina. It was 1,031 miles one way. And there's plenty of stuff around here, but if it's not here in Iowa and I have to, go beyond the boundaries, you're looking at anywhere from 300 miles plus. I've driven days to get to certain locations and stuff. And if that's another thing that, gets you in your pocketbook too, because
hmm.
you got your food, your gas, and your lodging.
Yep. Thank God I got a minivan. I, I can go, man. If I ever come across, I could just sleep in the van, man. Lay that bucket seat back and just get some Z's, you know. But uh, Rex, let me ask you a question, man. As we get older, our kids are grown, and we still got to pay school taxes. And down here in the state of Texas, some of the school districts are starting to implement a parapsychology course. How do you feel about schools, mostly at the high school level and at the college level, implementing something like that?
I'm still kind of on the fence about it. It has to be, it's a sensitive subject, you know, and they really need to do the outline and guidelines on it. Don't go base it on what they see on TV. Base it on the stuff. I mean, parapsychology and and paranormal investigating have been around since the early 1700s and the late 1600s. You know, go back and get your information and make it truthful. Don't make it sensational crap that you see on. I'm sorry if I offend anybody. I don't watch any of the shows on TV.
Mm,
I've met a lot of people that have been on TV and find out the truth behind a lot of it, that a lot of it isn't true. And you know, it's not right, but they need the ratings. It makes them money, blah blah blah. But back to the question, and it has to be the maturity level of doing this. You've got to be very mature in handling this situation, because like
hmm
we talked earlier, this it's going to be one of the coolest things you're ever going to do, but there's inherent dangers and there's problems that can arise, and you have to know how to deal with that situation when it arises. You can't just stand there like a deer in a headlight going, what am I supposed to do? So that's my take on it. I mean, if they really do their homework on it and have, an outline that is from the historical and the people that have brought it up and started parapsychology and are still in the field, you know, that I agree with it. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be completely that way. The television side of it, the Hollywood side of it, is going to make its way into it.
Definitely, definitely. Uh, let's talk. Let's switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about the religious aspect of paranormal investigating. And you know, a lot of people try to keep the two apart,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't. I mean, I really can't see keeping that two apart because paranormal investigating and religion are intertwined with each other. You
Yes,
know,
it is.
and it's one of those things that you know religious people tell us, you know, everything that we doing is we shouldn't be doing,
Right.
but these these spirits, these ghosts, these people, they're also named in the Bible.
Yes, they are.
So how can they say one thing and the good book says another? I, I'm trying to, it's really hard, trying to
It is.
explain that,
It is.
so
But unfortunately, you're going to have the people that are going to do that because it's something, you know, it's old school for them. That's the way they were raised, oh, there's no such thing as ghosts, yada, yada, yada. And then they always put the little slant on it that it's the work of the devil. No, it's not. It says in the Bible over 21 times that we walk and live in a spirit filled world. They're around us 24/7. And I grew up a Christian. I still am a man of faith, and I've heard it all over the years, but it hasn't stopped me from doing what I'm doing. The truth, the old X Files, the truth is out there.
Yes.
And all of us, that's what we're doing. We all learn from each other. That's why that was so cool last weekend. I mean, I met people that I learned a lot from, and they learned stuff from me. And with that question come up, about religion too. But the the whole religion thing has been a battle back and forth for over 2,000 years. And you're going to have people that are going to, you know, point the finger. And what gets me is I simply just say, hey, you know, I respect your opinion, but it's God the one I have to answer to, not to you. You know, He's the one that judges me and what I do. And most people are like, yeah, they quit because they know they're going against what God wants them to do, not to sit there and point their finger and belittle somebody and be their judge and jury. That's not the way it works.
Mm, right. Um, yeah, I think you're right on that. A lot of people, uh, I guess it's a little different, man, because down here in the South, you guys aren't part of that whole Bible Belt thing, are you?
No.
Yeah, man, it's really hard down here going dealing with people of faith and certain religions that are man, it's hard, bro. Trust me. Then you putting in because the church is, like I say, it's intertwined into everything.
Yeah.
And the one thing that the church is really connected with is the historical aspect of certain things.
Hmm.
And so if the church and the historical society are together, man, it's gonna really, really be hard to get in some of these historical locations that you want to be able to get into and investigate. But like the historical society, they're booked up with the church. Of course, the church is going to donate money to the historical society, to keep certain, buildings up and all that stuff. But they're going to lay out their outline rules also. Hey, we don't want no paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens. But we can fund you. We can give you the money if you just buy by these rules.
Right.
And to me, I think that's unfair.
Yes, you're exactly right. I agree with you. That is unfair.
But the money rules it all,
Yes.
and the Catholic Church stands above all. The Catholic Church is, man. I don't know what to say about those guys because, like I tell everybody that comes on the podcast, the Catholic Church set the foundation for what we do today. We
If you can hear me, you froze up. Yeah. Yeah, Justin, we got storms here too. I heard they're going to be rolling through again, so I'm surprised that I wasn't the first one to get froze up and knocked off. So, hey everybody, welcome to. Hopefully, Terry will be back here shortly. There he is. Here he
There
comes.
you go. Sorry about that.
That's
Actually,
okay.
my 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 laptop just died.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's weird things always happen around here. But yeah, as I was saying, the Christian church has a foot into everything, but yet
Yep.
these are the ones that laid the foundation
Come on.
for our success.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't for for them sending out that very first paranormal investigator whenever the Catholic Church hears or sees something that they can't understand, they will send out a paranormal investigator or I forgot what the other they call it something else, but today we're called it's called paranormal investigators. But I'm trying to figure out what. Oh, hey, is that who I think it is?
Yeah, he's back. Baby kitty's back. I told you to get up on the table sooner or later.
It's is that rain? Yeah, it's raining here too. So
Yeah, the
internet.
thunder and lightning just started here not too long ago,
Oh wow.
but
Yeah.
it hasn't affected anything on my end so far. So
I mean, so what's your take on the Catholic Church and how they seem to withhold certain information or how they downplay the paranormal and all that good stuff.
you know, um, it is the richest religion in the world and the most powerful. And all I can say is, I don't want to offend anybody in any way, shape, or form. Um, I I don't know what to say. It bothers me that they have that much power and control. That I mean, they have their hand in a lot more than people know, and you sure as heck don't want to cross them the wrong way because I that's all I'm going to say. But um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they
it,
they
it worries me.
they are some interesting individuals. That's and I don't mind talking about them because they talk about us all the time. Paranormal investigators we're doing that, and so on and so on. They don't like the way that the way that the field is going, but hell, like Bill Murray said, when shit hit the fan, who in the hell are you gonna call?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
you got to call some. I mean, you can't call AT&T because they just gonna hang up on you. So you got to be able to call somebody,
Yep.
But it's one of those sticky subjects that a lot of people like to talk about, and there's some that like to leave that particular topic alone.
You
And
know,
with
I don't mind
go ahead.
talking about it, but I was a huge Catholic, you know,
Ah,
and and I have a bunch of Catholic friends and stuff, and they know how I feel about it. And that's right, the Vatican is just as corrupt as the government. That's true. I mean, they're the richest religion in the world for a reason, and it's scary that a religion has gotten that powerful that and they're using God as you know, almost as using God as a bully. If you don't give to the church and if you don't do this, God will strike you down, blah, blah, blah. The church doesn't judge you, the man above does. But yet, the Catholic Church has been around a long time, and if you guys want to read some history about how things have been brought down and how, you know, they've gotten their hand in a lot more than you'd think.
Tell me about it. I really think they do, but you know, they're a powerful entity. I mean, they're not only involved in certain things, but the government aspect of it. They have a lot to say.
Yep,
You know, they have a lot of buttons that can be pushed and things can get done. You know what I'm saying? So
yep,
yeah, I do understand why certain people would back off away from that, but you know, uh, but the thing about religion is there are so many different religions that are open up to it. Even the
yep,
Catholic Church is at the top. There's Southern Baptists. They just as crazy as Catholic. As the Catholic Church is, but you're dealing with the Methodists. And so many other different religions that are. And you know what? And these religions are a little bit more modern times. So their eyes are a little bit more open you know, than compared to 2,000 years ago,
yep,
or 1,000 years ago, as for the Baptist Church. So they're a little bit more, acceptable to what we do,
yep.
and because I've come across a guy who's a Methodist preacher, and he was like, "Man, hey, I love what you do. Keep doing, the good work that you're doing. Because I'm just as curious to know on what's out there. And I think every religion that should want to know on what's going on out there. Because uh, I think everybody's just curious to know. It doesn't matter, if you're a priest, if you're a deacon. Every person uh, that's affiliated with the church wants to know.
Yeah.
That's
There,
going on.
there's a lot of paranormal groups that I know that they have preachers that are part of the group and go out and investigate with them. And one
Hmm.
of the groups, I believe the preacher's like 82 or 83 years old, and he gets right out there in the middle of it, and he's very good at it too.
Mm, cool. I mean, I'll have to meet that guy. You know what, Rex? Let me ask you a serious question.
Sure.
Maybe you can give me an answer. What is the one thing that every person on this planet is afraid of?
Death.
Well, death's in Texas, but there's one thing. Because there's a lot of people who's not afraid of death. There's a
Yeah,
lot of that is not afraid of tax.
I mean, when I get called home, I get called home. You know, it's one of those things where you just can't sit around and worry about.
Yeah, you're right. But the one thing that everybody on this planet is kind of weary about is the unknown. The
And there's a
unknown,
lot of it out there.
yeah, the unknown seems to make everybody a little nervous. And what do you think that if somebody came to you and say, "Hey, you don't have to worry about the unknown anymore because I figured it all out." How do you think the world would react to that individual saying, "Hey, I figure out this whole unknown thing"? How do you think that would change the world? And where do you think it would, and how do you think the world would be for paranormal investigators such as me and you? If they figured it out already, would there be any need for us?
I think so. I mean, because everything is always evolving. and moving forward, I don't think that, well, it's been proven, not, you don't have an answer for everything. There's always something, like a grain of sand that sits in the corner, and the wind blows and more grains of sand come with it, and it offshoots of what they think that they've got, all the answers to. I i think, yeah, we'd still be needed, because it's so infinite, the unknown. I mean, you've got cryptids, you've got UFOs, you've got the paranormal, you've got the supernatural, you on and on and on and on and on, and other dimensions and timelines, and will still be needed.
Okay.
And as far as changing the world, it would change it. Of course, it would make it. It would change it, but the reaction would be, some people would just embrace it and go, "Oh my gosh, here we go. It's great. We can move on. We know the unknown has been, opened up for us. We don't have to worry about it anymore." But then you're still going to have people that are still going to question it and still going to worry about it.
Hmm. Now, what do you think the religion aspect of that would be?
I think it would probably be the same way. I think when it comes to religion, they would be more staunch and stand up, going, "Now wait a minute, you've figured out the infinite unknown." you know I think that would be, not all the religions, but certain religions that are going to be absolutely go, "Yeah, you're full of it.
Mm,
There's no way."
but I think you might be right. But I would think that, oh man, this new age, this 21st century religion thought, that people, the way people are thinking about religion today, it's not the way the old schools or the
No.
baby boomers are thinking, the way that they thought back then.
Right.
You know, I'm thinking maybe these, man, these Gen X kids. I'm not even sure what they are now. You
your your guess is as good as mine.
But I think they a little bit. I think they would be a little bit more open to that. Compared to the baby boomers and the ones before the baby boomers. Different time, different era, different ways of thinking. So I think they would be okay with it. But the one thing that really, really, these new guys are, they seem to ask a lot of questions about, certain things, in the paranormal field, you know, and compared to what the baby boomers did, they were, they kept themselves in the dark, in the quiet. They didn't, if it didn't happen, they don't care. They let that go. Hey man, that's over there. We're gonna let that
That-
be.
That's
You know,
exactly right.
we're gonna let that be. But these kids today, for example, my kids, you know, their minds are open. Their minds are wondering. Their minds are flooded with so many questions about, the possibility of this, the possibility of that. And it's good. It's really good for them to ask questions, but it's not so good for the Catholic Church or any other religion that wants to hold something of this magnitude, what we're trying to find out about the afterlife. It's gonna put a lot of weight on the churches, because like I'm saying, a lot of kids are asking questions about it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's somebody's gonna have to come to everything's gonna come to a head eventually.
Yeah.
And when that pimple pops, I'm just hoping it's good for society as a whole.
Yes.
I'm hey, only time would tell.
Exactly.
Time would
And
tell. Rex, you probably heard this when you was a kid, and I heard it a lot when I was growing up. Uh, a lot of people ask when they cut the lights off at night, why are you so afraid of the dark? And I see myself asking, no, a lot of people ask me that question, are you afraid of the dark? And the first thing I would ask him is, Rex, I have nothing against the dark. Me and the dark are cool. We're friends. We hang out every night. But the one thing that people don't understand is it's not the dark that you should be afraid of. It's what's in the dark that you might be afraid of.
exactly.
And it's one of those things that people need to when they ask that question, they need to kind of, change it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one of those kind of fuzzy questions. I mean, because people when I was a kid, people, my mom and my grandmother said, "Don't go look up under the bed because the boogeyman's under there." And I'm like,
Yeah.
why would I even look under the bed? What the purpose of that? Ain't nothing under there but my shoes. What I'm saying? But they say things like that just to make sure that you stay in your bed.
Right.
So
And
yeah, it's a lot that that this generation and the generation that's coming above and the generation after that, it's going to be a lot for them, and it's going to be a big weight on their shoulders to continue, the tradition that we set before them. If they're able to do it, I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I'm being asked certain questions after I'm long and gone.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? So it's there's a lot, like you said, the unknown is a mug, ain't it? But you just got to enjoy it.
oh
It's
yeah.
you just have to enjoy it, because when I sit back, because sometimes I sit in this room and I just think. Thinking is good for you. Thinking is a way of you can be at peace for a moment. If you just think small thoughts and you can just relax and enjoy the moment when you're thinking, because that moment ain't there. The minute
Yep.
you think it's gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's yeah, man, it's crazy. I don't know. It's all about you, Rex. I'm sorry about that. I just had to
No,
get that out.
no, no, no. It's cool because I'm learning about you just as much as you're learning about me,
Yes,
and
sir.
that's really cool. I mean, I've been chomping at the bit waiting to be on the show. That's when we talked, and I was in my car when you called,
That's
and
right.
I ended up sitting in the driveway. I don't know. We talked. I don't know, half an hour, 40
Yep.
minutes,
Power.
and it was. And this isn't a Midwest saying, and it was raining out like a cow pissing on a flat rock.
Oh, damn.
It
Never
was
heard of
coming down when I was sitting out there.
well, you know what? Man, and that's the reason why I have this podcast, so I can meet people like you and other great individuals that are out in this world that are doing the same thing that we're doing, and we have this same conversation, and and it's one of those type of conversation. At the end of the day, it will make you think as you're sitting on the toilet. It makes you think as you washing dishes. It makes you think when you're cutting the grass. it just makes you think in general on the infinite possibilities on what we can achieve as a race of people if we just all
Exactly.
together, like we were talking about before, when the show started about the whole para-unity thing. If we just all come together and sit down at the table and figure this whole damn thing out, the world would be a better place. It would be a better place in our community. And I can go to somebody else's town and people up and say, hey, NSPS TV Paranormal is coming to investigate a certain location in your town, and I don't have to call and ask for permission.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. But instead, you got all that, and it's uncalled for. But one day, all this is coming, and then we're gonna be able to sit down, conversate, and enjoy the moment. And
exactly.
let me. Are you familiar with mediums?
Now what?
A medium, any kind of clairvoyant medium, anybody that has special gifts.
Do I know of any?
Yes.
Or we're yes. I know a couple of people, and they. All I can say is they're legit. I mean, they. I've had a lot of mediums or psychics read me, and they have gotten absolutely nothing right because
Mm-hmm.
it's the old I got a letter, P coming through, blah blah blah. No, the ones that I know, I pose questions that only I would know, but yet they have told me exactly, because the way I pose the question, only I know the answer to.
Right.
But yet they've come up and they've gotten it spot on, and that's been a couple. My wife has an ability, and she's amazing. If I'm alone on an investigation, she will give me information to look for things. And I mean, she's been spot on. I did the St. Cloud Hotel in Cannon City, Colorado. They flew me out there to investigate the place, and I investigated it by myself. I locked myself in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, didn't come out till 8 o'clock the next day.
Oh wow. Cool.
But she told me about on the third floor to be aware of a female that her life had been taken. And I got up there, and there was a smell of roses, and you could feel the sadness that was going on. And it was done out of an act of passion. And I ended up catching a photograph of a female laying in the fetal position on the floor. So she's helps me out a lot. She'll say, "Hey, you need to be careful when you go up on this floor. Watch your back."
And I've always told people, mediums, people that have that 10% or less than 10% capacity to use their brains more than the average person. I always said, and I always said this, these guys will have a lot to say in the future.
Yep.
You know, but the only problem that I have, Rex, is unlike witches who's been scrutinized, hung, did horrible things to since since the witch trials. But witches somehow and some way have overcame all their atrocities that has happened to them in their history. They've come together and form communities. They have certain events. They make themselves known that, hey, we're here, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And I know they're here because my wife is Wiccan.
You know what I'm saying? And they make it known, and they don't give a damn about what nobody thinks, how nobody feels. If you don't like it, goddamn, go to the moon.
Yep,
You know what I'm saying? But the problem with mediums and clairvoyance, this is just my opinion, that the door is halfway open for them. Unlike witches, warlocks, and all those, there are that preach and that practice witchcraft. The door is open. They've walked through it.
yep,
Now, like I said, the mediums, the clairvoyants, all those that can use more than 1%, maybe 2% of their brains, and have that gift, they are afraid to step outside that door. It's
yep,
cracked. It's cracked. But they're looking, they're looking, and all they gotta do is just open that door and step out of it. And I think the world would be a better place.
yes,
Because because I was just telling you, there's a place for them in the future. Now, I don't know what it is, but I think there's something big is coming, and I think they're gonna play a big part in it. I
and
might be wrong, but I just got that feeling that.
and I agree. I mean, I live with one. She's Wiccan, and it's getting into the paranormal. It was really cool to find out all these different aspects and learn about the Wiccan religion, and it's fascinating, and she's a fascinating person. She's also full of piss and vinegar too. So
And I think, like, uh, individuals that practice Wiccan, I think they got past that point of concern about what the other person might think about them. You know what I'm saying? I
yes,
think they got past all that. You know, and I think that whatever somebody has to say about what they do is beneath them now. They don't give a shit. You know,
yep,
but but everybody that's gifted, I think they are concerned about what the next person might say, might think, might do. And it's got to be at a point where they got to throw all that out the window.
yep,
They got to start thinking like every other uh you know uh group, or certain people that have certain that do certain things or practice certain things, or people out there that are gifted. They just gotta say, what the hell, man, I don't care. I'm about to put on my blue suede shoes. I'm about to open up this door, and I'm about to fucking step right into it, and whatever happens happens.
exactly. What are you doing? You're gonna knock over. You're gonna knock that off. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. No sound. Still can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Can you hear me?
But I can't hear you.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. All
No,
right.
I got you. I got you now.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'm sitting here trying to wait till my damn laptop to charge back up. Hey, Mr. Higgins, how you doing today, sir? Mr. Higgins is from the UK.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
this
Thanks for
gentleman
joining.
here, yeah, I've sent a. I had a podcast with him and his son, just about probably what 2 months ago. Very interesting team. Oh, dude, UK has got some unbelievable stuff
Oh,
going on
yeah.
over there, and I would love to go over there and investigate with those guys. But uh, I would have, if I was to go, I would have to take the boat. I can't fly, But I don't know how long that boat ride would take me.
It'd take a little bit.
Yeah, I figured that. And, but it's one of those things, well, it's okay. I mean, it's well worth the wait. You know what I'm saying? Me getting over there, me investigating with them, and go have a good time. But it's
Exactly.
it's one of those things, man. Hey, it's good, you know, and sharing the knowledge that they have. I'll sit back and watch these guys do their things, and just learn. Just sit back and watch, let them fill my mind up with stuff and just have some fun.
Did you see the new message?
Oh,
I'm his wife. I'm not Mister.
well, I'm sorry about that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Okay,
Oh,
Mel. Maybe we change that to Mrs. Mel Wiggins.
yeah,
Higgins.
there you go.
That's why I won't get confused. But hey, there are great people over there, But yeah, okay, wifey, how you doing today? I hope you're doing good. I didn't
Thanks
mean,
for joining us.
I didn't mean to offend you, but you know what? You are him and he is you. So yeah, y'all all in one. All right. Hey, Rex, let me ask you a question, man.
Hmm.
Oh man, you live in Iowa, and there's a lot going on up there in Iowa. Tell me a little bit about your town.
The town I live in,
Yes, sir.
it's it's not real big and it's not real small. I mean, it's up in the northeast part of Iowa. Um, I there's it was the hub of Iowa. It had one of the biggest train um, stations and hitching points in the state. When I first moved here, the all that still existed. It doesn't anymore.
Mm,
Um, but they've got a museum and stuff, and it's called the hub of Iowa because everything intersected here with the trains. And I mean, we still have the trains come through, but it's not like they used to be because there's a trestle just I don't know about 2 blocks away from here, and you'll hear them in the middle of the night, them smashing them cars together to latch them up, and sounds like World War III is going on when they do it, but
mm.
it's a
Wow.
it's a quiet little town. I mean, there's a lot of them around here, but everything is easy to get to. Like Waterloo is a much bigger town. It's like a 25-minute drive. Um, I I worked in Independence. I worked for the Buchanan County Sheriff's Department,
Hmm.
which is in Independence, and that's only 16 miles from here. Um, it's pretty accessible. In the northeast part of Iowa, there's a lot of very older towns and stuff up around in here that have a lot of history, and I'm not that far away from the Mississippi either.
Oh, good catfishing.
Yes.
Now, with every small town, man, somebody 30, 40, maybe even 100 years ago would claim that they see something and they'll tell one person and one person would tell another. And, And as time goes on, it gets all twisted and uprooted, and bam, and next thing you know, you got an urban legend. Now,
Unfortunately, if we've got an urban legend, I've never heard of one.
wow, so y'all don't have anything that of that. Okay, I've.
I mean, one of the coolest things is my house was built in 1901, and it's the first homestead built in this town, and I own it.
Interesting. Very interesting. Uh, is there anything native around where you live at, or?
Yes, there is. Not so much. You have to travel a little bit of a distance, but not much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is a lot of Native American um, heritage in the Midwest. I can't remember. There was three different um, Native American tribes that coexisted in Iowa. I'd have to look it up, but it's like the Wapsipinicon River is it's the story of the princess or the daughter of this Native American tribe, and her name was Wapsipinicon, and that's how the river was named. And it's an interesting story. It really is. But yeah, there's been places that we've gone to that the the Native Americans have really come through
Mm-hmm.
on, either a lot of EVPs and interesting ones at that is especially one place I went to that was up around Des Moines called Farrar, and I was out with another group called Creeps, and they're buddies of mine from Missouri, and they named their group Creeps because that was the semi-pro hockey league that Adam and his brother used to play for.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and we were outside of Farrar, and we were, I can't remember what spirit box or something we were using, and we started hearing, like um, Native American chanting was coming across. Um, it it was really cool. It went on for about 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was neat. It was neat, and I used to do a lot of investigations, a lot of shows with Coyote Chris Sutton. He was a shaman. We lost him suddenly, just very suddenly, a couple of years ago. Um, but if you guys can look up Coyote Chris Sutton, he's been. They did a thing on him on the History Channel. He's got books out there. The man was he was something. Uh, he was awesome to be around when he would do his drumming out in the open, and oh man, I miss that guy so much. And I bet he's got before he passed away, I still have the last picture that I made for him, but I never got it to him. He's got
Oh,
a bunch of my art hanging in his house.
that's cool. Now, do you think, because I've talked to a lot of people from Florida to Washington State, from Washington State to Maine, from Maine to Baja California, and all points in between. Is it possible that they could be Native American tribes in every single state of the United States,
I
including
believe so. Yep.
including Alaska and Hawaii?
Yeah, I really do.
That would be unbelievable. You know, uh, and for a civilization of that magnitude, and to only have a handful of reservations, on certain states' property. Where do you think all these people went?
You
Because
know, I
there's, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think that they were wiped out.
no,
There's no way.
no.
Is it possible? Because certain tribes worship certain gods, and certain gods had that ability to levitate. They had this ability to take off real fast, land, go zigzag, and even sometimes even uh, open up their doors and
Yeah,
actually communicate with these individuals. Is it possible that those that wanted to stay stayed, and those that wanted to go went?
I yeah, I do. Because there's no way that they were wiped out. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And that's one of them Arsenio Hall questions.
That was. Yeah,
What?
and this has been great because I've been on a lot of podcasts and a lot of radio um, shows and stuff, and you have posed more genuine and thought-provoking questions ever.
What?
I mean, they've been great and very poignant too. I mean, not some of the outlandish crap that I've heard over, time. Where you just sit there and look at and you go, you really just asked me that question, and how in the hell do you expect me to answer such an asinine question?
Well,
And
I, if it wasn't for my damn laptop blinking off, I need to actually find the damn charger to it. I mean, I've got so much stuff built up. But my podcast was made for outside of the box thinking. Because so many and I'm not knocking any other podcaster on this planet, but there's questions that need to be answered, and and I think I'm a person that needs to ask specific people specific answers to see if they can answer that specific question. If that make any sense to you,
yeah,
you know,
and like we said at the beginning, we're learning from each other constantly, you
right?
know, and I've learned a lot from you tonight, and hopefully some of the stuff I said rang true for you.
Yes, sir.
Um, and it's because it's completely different format from my podcast. I ended up switching it up, and it's absolutely unscripted. I mean, and people have just absolutely loved the flow of the show, and I call it paranormal flow.
Hmm.
And once I changed it, and it reminds me of your show. I mean, it's just flowed seamlessly since, well, heck, we started talking a half an hour before we even went on the air.
Yeah, and if you will throw that in there, it's been over 2 hours of continuous good conversation about everything from religion to paranormal to urban legend to I really don't know much about cryptids. Hell, we even threw a little ufology on there about the aliens being the Native Americans going back home. you
Yep,
know all the little bit of that has all been thrown. And like I always tell people, I mean, I like to think outside of the box. Matter of fact, I like to break the box down. I
right.
mean, I don't like being pushed up in the box and not break it. That's not what this podcast is about. My podcast is, to get good information out or get good thoughts or good questions from, from me to certain individuals, I think that can answer those questions. And honestly, I can say everybody that, I talk to on my podcast has been, truthfully, honestly, and capable to answer each specific question that I ask them. So hey, I think I must be doing okay. I mean, I
You're,
don't know.
I absolutely love your show. I mean,
You know,
you ask questions in the paranormal, but I've done so many that it's the same questions all the time. What's your favorite piece of equipment? What's your
mhm.
scariest moment? What's the most place that you'd love to go back and investigate again? Who would you like to investigate with? You never asked me a single one of those questions, which was great.
And I never will.
Good,
But I,
because it gets boring.
but I will. And I got three more questions before I get
Sure,
you out of here.
that's
Okay.
fine.
Now, these questions are going to pertain, and I'm pretty sure you've never heard of these either, but I'm going to ask you.
Okay,
Okay, now, what year is this? 2024, am I right?
correct.
Okay, now, I'm 23 years old. So I might see 20, I might see 2100 when it comes in, if I'm correct on that number.
Yep.
The year 2100. Hell, we'll both be celebrating. Hey, I'll probably be at your house celebrating. So now with that year coming up, what do you think that type of paranormal investigator, what do you think they would be like?
Wow. There'll be, I think there'll be advancements in it, over that time period, but we're still going to be asking ourselves, still looking for the answers and the questions to it. I think that's infinite. And that's what keeps us going, because the unknown is so infinite, you know. I think there'll be advancements in it, absolutely, because we see that every year,
Hmm.
to an extent. But I think it's going to be an ongoing, lifelong of trying to figure it out. It'll just keep going and keep going and keep going.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. Good answer. Yeah, I think the advancement. And what do you think with all that advancement and with because the kids now are going to be the next generation of paranormal investigators. You know,
Right.
now the question, this is the most startling point of this question is, are they ready for it?
Do you want my honest? No,
Yes.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
And for some reason, I don't think they are either because the basis of an investigation is not the equipment, it's not, you know, a little history has it can go a long way as far as an investigation, but the attitude of a paranormal investigator will take you a long way as an investigator.
Yep.
If you don't have the right attitude, if you don't have the right respect, then you speaking to me when I'm dead and gone, or you want to come investigate me, I'm going to totally ignore you because there's no respect there.
Exactly.
Now, the kids today are being raised in single family homes. There's no guidance, there's no structure, there's no father figure in some of these homes.
Right.
They don't have that structure, the yes sir, the no ma'am. It's always yes what. the words that we got slapped for saying when we were kids, because
Yeah.
I never said what to my parents, you know, and certain words that that we it kind of it deserves respect, and
Yes.
respect is a lot that these kids aren't learning today.
No, they are not.
And so as being a paranormal investigator, the first thing is respect. You have to respect the person that you're talking to, you're communicating with, and so on and so on. Because if not, somebody like me, even though you can't see me, I'm going to walk right past you. Hell, I
Yep.
might even stab you in the back of the head if I'm walking right past you because you're not giving me that respect that
Yep.
I really deserve because I've been gone from this planet for 200 years. I know more than you. I understand this universe more than you, and I respect I respect. No, matter of fact, I demand respect from the person that's trying to communicate with me. But once again, this second or this next generation of kids or individuals aren't learning that. Rick, how do we solve that problem before it's too?
Wow. You know, I have pondered that question and pondered that question and pondered that question. This this is one of those Uh, I I honestly don't know. I mean, it's gotten so out of control that it's such a huge entity now. How do you start to reel it back and show them, you know, the correct way and to be respectful to everything and everybody? I honestly, I have no idea.
Can we say that we just should write this now? Oh my God, dude! Because if you think about it, if you write a certain generation off, it's just gonna jump into the generation after them. So we're
Yep.
gonna basically have two generations lost of paranormal investigators for the simple fact is they don't understand.
And
Under,
that's
understanding things and the way life works. That's everything.
you know, it's the in the sense of entitlement and you you and I have had to work our asses off to get to where we're at. Nothing's
Oh,
been given to us. You know, I've been working a job since I was 14 at least.
right?
And
Six.
and thank God I'm retired now. But I did 31 years in law enforcement, and I seen the uglier side of a lot of things. And I hope that I believe I made a big difference in it. The 31 years I was in it. But it was also the way that I was raised and you were raised, but that they're not being shown respect. And
Oh,
that's a huge, huge thing in somebody's life.
yeah.
You know,
And
showing respect for either, a human being or an animal or history or a building or a forest. Everything demands respect,
everything.
but it also has to be earned. And unfortunately, the generation that's out now thinks that we should respect them. Well, they haven't been around long enough to earn it.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's, I hate to say it, man, but I think we're going to lose them.
Yeah.
Uh, the kids that are coming out of kindergarten and who doesn't know exactly what this world or what life is really about and don't know what they want to be yet, you might have a chance with them,
Mm-hmm.
but you're gonna lose everybody else that's above them from elementary on because, like you say, they think they're entitled to everything. You know, the one thing that I've always taught my kids were shake a man's hands firmly and look a man directly in the eye when you speak to him.
Absolutely.
You know, and that shaking a man's hands firmly and directing and looking a man in the eye, believe it or not, that goes a long way. That shows
Yes.
other individual, hey, this kid here was taught right. He's respectful. He's honest, and just maybe from that, he will grow up to be a good man in his life.
Yep.
So I'm just hoping that, man, I'm whoever who whoever does it got the weight. Hey, man, they got a hold. Man, the shoulders got to be broad and the shoulders got to be
Yeah.
wide, and they got to be able to handle everything that's coming to them. Whoever the individuals are is going to show these kids the way. Now, I
Yep.
know it's not going to be me or it's not going to be you,
No.
because eventually our time will run. And, whoever it is, I just wish them luck.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, and Rex, and I'm going to get you out of here. Now, you know, a lot of paranormal investigators that are out here in the world are looking for what's on the other side. They're always looking for that one piece of evidence that can get them going. But a lot of people don't ask that question is, are you really, what exactly are you really looking for when you investigate the paranormal?
Right.
Are you doing it just because you want, are you curious? Or are you doing it because it's something more that you're trying to look out, that you're trying to find?
Exactly. Um, Unfortunately, you know, like we said before, you've really got to put your heart and soul into this because it's not just a fleeting moment. It's there's there's dedication that you have to put into it.
Yep.
And you know, I've had to deal with a lot of people that they want instant gratification and thinking, they're going on their I'm going to be a paranormal investigator, you know, and we're going to get all this stuff tonight. And no, you're not. It's not predictable. And I, when the boys and I started, we coined a phrase that ghosts are people too.
Right.
You have to respect them just as much as you respect the living. And when we've done lectures and stuff, and to prove the fact, you know, I would pick somebody out in the audience. I'd go up to them. I go, you know, do something for me. Knock something over. I want to hear you. I demand that you do this. Just because they're no longer living doesn't mean that we have the right to speak to them that way. Because I sure as hell don't want anybody to speak to me that way.
Right. Right. I sure don't either. You know, and I'm going to be honest with you. As I get older, and I don't see myself in my 20s. In my 20s, I thought I was invincible. In my 30s, I thought, I'm a man. I'm married. uh, had kids, bought a house, did everything that a father is supposed to do for their family. But as life goes on, certain tragedies happen,
Mm-hmm.
and there's tragedies that you can't you can't help. But when my wife passed away last year, it kind of opened my eyes, and I was one of those because, and I'm gonna tell you, Rex, I was afraid of death. Death is something that nobody is prepared for, and people think death. And when you're young, you know, I was just scared of it. I like, man, hell, I don't know what the hell to do when it comes from me. But as I got older, and my eyes got bigger, and my head and my ears got a little bit wider because I'm hearing things, and my eyes got bigger because I'm seeing things, and I'm looking at the big picture of the world, and I'm like, man, you know, I'm not afraid of death. I know that my wife is there waiting on me when I get there, and I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. I think I can handle this. So I'm not afraid of death anymore. You know, and matter of fact, I'm beginning to think that the reason why I'm a paranormal investigator is because it's preparing me for the journey that lies ahead for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't want any surprises. I don't want nothing that is gonna spook me when I'm walking into that light because I already know what to expect. And I think that's why I became the paranormal investigator that I am. I mean, people does paranormal investigating for different things,
Yep.
but I'm doing it because I am preparing myself mentally, physically, and emotionally for what's coming ahead, maybe 20, maybe 30, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know what life holds out for me, but
Right.
I'm preparing myself for that adventure. You know what I'm
And I
saying?
agree.
It's, and when I talk to people like that, they're like, okay, I understand. And, and what really gets me is the young ones that tell me that they understand, but then I have to turn around and I have to tell them, no, you can never understand what I've been through in life because you have not been through it yet.
Yep.
Let you lose a wife you've been having for over 33 years, and once you go through that, call me up and talk to me then. But
Yeah.
beforehand, I mean, but in between time, no,
Yep.
no, you can never walk in my shoes or understand the things that I've gone through, been through, and preparing my life to go through as as time comes for me. So, and I think that's the reason why I became a paranormal investigator. And it's okay with me. You know, but two more questions, and I'm gonna get you out of here.
All righty.
I promise. Two more questions. Hey, do you have a basement?
Yes, I do.
How big is your basement?
Uh, it's, I mean,
About
it's not big. It's good sized, but it's not real
it's
big.
about the size of your living room, you might say.
Yeah, just probably a little bit bigger than that. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Does your wife have the key?
To the basement.
Yeah.
The basement's open. There's no door. You just
There's nothing
go to the
down there.
basement.
Oh well, okay. I figured, man, you might have tools down there. You might have, that might be your place of zen when you want to go hang out. You want to watch a football game or just get away. I figure you got it set up like a man cave.
No, no, down there is basically storage.
Oh wow.
I mean, uh, I'm working on, I have an enclosed back porch, and that will be my studio. I'm going to completely remodel it and have my studio back there, and
Okay.
I'll move and have the podcast back there, but I'll have my my drafting table back there, all my art supplies. That'll all be back there because right now, if I panned around here with the camera, you wouldn't believe how much stuff is in this little bitty room that I'm in right now.
Trust me, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I got so much stuff packed up over there. It's crazy. But check it out, Rex. Do you sleep hard? Are you a hard sleeper?
No.
Are you a thinker when you sleep?
Yes.
Okay, now, okay, so it's easy for things to pop in your head while you sleep.
Yep.
Okay, bam. Good, 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 good. So you're sleeping and this dream comes into you, Rex, and you're like, man, this dream hit me hard. You woke up thinking about it, you took a poop thinking about it, and you drank your morning coffee thinking about it. And you're like, man, I gotta put this on paper. So you like you go figure out all the measurements, and you know what? You didn't even need a ruler because all the measurements is everything is in your head already. So you're like, man, I got this on paper, and you say, sweetheart, I'm going downstairs to the basement. I'll be back in a couple hours. So she said, okay. She runs out to do some grocery shopping or whatever. And you down there, man, you went and got all your tools, your hammer, your saw, your Allen wrenches, whatever you got, that's what you got. And you making this 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 thing that you had in your head. And 4 hours later, man, you got it. It comes together. And you curious. And that fact, you're looking like you're looking right now. You're like, what the hell did I just invent? And you like, so your wife comes downstairs and you're like, babe, I built this, but I don't know what it is. So she picks it up and she see a light switch on the side. And she's like, Rex, what's this light switch on the side? And you don't even know, you put it there and you didn't even know it was there. So she flips it on and a big burst of energy comes out of that box. And it startles you and her. She drops it on the pool table that you have down there. See, you didn't even know you had a pool table down there, did you?
Man, I better get to looking.
So she drops it on the pool table, and both of y'all are looking with astonishment. It's like, man, what the hell, Rex? What did you build? Okay, but a portal opens up. Not something too big, not something too small, but just enough for you to see through. It's like the size of I don't know, of a jumbo sized donut, I guess.
Okay.
And you're looking through it and you're able to see through it. And you're like, what the hell is this? And your wife is like, man, what the hell did you build, Rex? What did you do now? Apparently, you're always doing something. So, you know, on the other side, you're able to see it's a perfect, beautiful day. You see people walking, talking, socializing like it's a beautiful, regular day outside. There's a Macy's over there. There's a Starbucks. People coming in and out of Macy's with bags. People coming out of the damn Starbucks with coffee. And you're like, oh man, what the hell is this? But, Rex, someone caught your eye. And that person startled, they looked, and they waved at you like they know you. And they're like, hi, Rex, how you doing? They walk through the puddle and they come and sit down on the couch and you have this connection with this person, like you've seen them before, and you like, and she's like, "Hi, Rex, how you doing, baby?" And they're like, and the first thing that came out of your mouth, take a guess.
Who are you?
Nope. Hi, Grandma. You knew
Oh,
you knew who they were. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know how you knew, but you knew who they were, who she was. You know, and she say, "Hey, I'm doing fine. The family's doing fine, man. We're waiting for you to come, you know, but hey, we're in no hurry. Take your time. Do what you got to do in life. Enjoy life." And you guys talked for almost 2.5, maybe 3 hours on just the family, your family,
Mhm.
Rex. You know, she said, well, grandpa's doing fine. And we're talking about generations of grandmas and grandpas. And, you know, so she looks at her watch. She's like, oh, I got to get back home, son, grandson. She called you son. She said, oh, I got to get back home, son, because grandpa's going to wonder where I am and I got to cook dinner. So she jumps back through the portal, waves, and just walks off like nothing. And you look, your wife went upstairs, and you just turned that box off, and you just looked in just pure amazement, and you're like, "What the hell did I just invent?" You know what you invented, and he's like, so emotions, thoughts start running through your head, and you're like, "Well, hey, should I share this technology I built with the world? Do you think the world is ready for something like this?" These are all the questions that you're asking yourself, Rex, when you at just hanging out at the pool table. You know? So the question that I have for you, Rex, is are you willing to share that technology with the world on something that you just built?
The question that you posed already, is the world ready for it? And
Mm,
how, and how is it going to be taken? And it's like, Einstein, you know, in his theory of relativity, they end up splitting the atom and they made it into one of the most deadliest weapons on the face of the earth, and that was never his intention. That is what would be in my mind. I'm thinking, okay, what if this technology fell into the wrong hands? What would they do with it? Would it be done for good or would it be done for evil? That's that would be the biggest question and concern I would have, because that will happen. It's
yes.
it's inevitable. It
Yeah.
will happen. And I built it for good, and that's all I want it to be. But unfortunately, it won't. It will be misconstrued and it will be used for something deviant at some point in time.
So you're saying you're going to put it on the shelf and let it be?
For the time being, yes, I would.
Mm. Okay. The next question that I have for you is, at what time do you think mankind will be ready for something like that?
It's like what we've been discussing, the infinite unknown. Will we ever be ready for it? Will the entire world be ready for it?
Yeah, but you know what? You ever watched Men in Black?
Oh yeah.
You remember when him and Will Smith was sitting on the bench? What do you remember that one famous quote that he said sitting on that bench?
Not offhand, no.
Hmm. He said that. He said that man. No, he said the human race is never ready for the possibility of what can happen, but a man is ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Hmm.
because when a man can make a decision based on certain things, but the human race, there's so many different, you know, ideas in different people's heads. Like you say, it might go down one path, it might go down another. But a man can always be ready for what lies ahead. And I think in this case, I think the man might be ready, but the human race as a whole would never be ready for such a device like that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because,
Yep.
like you said, I've seen this not in my lifetime. Oh, yes, well, I can say in my lifetime. I've seen nations go to war for far less.
Yes.
Can you imagine nations going to war over that box?
Oh, that there again, that was, yeah, that
That was,
was my biggest concern because, you know, everybody's pitting against everybody, and, you know, they would want one person would want to one country or whatever, one entity would want that total power for themselves.
yeah. But I'd never, the thing is, you, the spirit was able to come in, but a human being was never capable of going into their world. So it's a two-way trip for the spirit, but it's not a it's neither or for the individual that's living. So I really don't know what kind of uh purpose they would have with that, besides reaching out to certain loved ones like you did. Well, you didn't even try to do it. It just your grandmother just happened to walk past you and saw you. So, yeah, man, I will put that thing on the shelf and I will let it sit for maybe 100, maybe 150 years. And like you say, even ever, if ever, they might be ready for that. I don't know, but that's another Arsenio Hall moment right there for you.
There's only one problem though. It
Was
wouldn't have
that?
been my grandmother that come through because my grandmother hated me.
Well, the thing is, well, that things change when you go into the afterlife. They don't look, they all that hate and stuff that kind of goes out the window. So as far as her hating you, I don't think she hates you now. I think as you as family, they will look at you as family, like she did when she came through and embraced you as her grandson. You know, um, So I really don't think. I think once they pass away, all that material stuff that they go through, all that animosity, I think that just go out the window. Especially if you're family. I guess we'll find out one day, huh?
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right. Last question of the night, brother. Where would you
All
like
right.
to go on your bucket list anywhere in the world to investigate?
I would love to go to Scotland and investigate castles. I would love just a castle, period. That would be just that has fascinated me since I was a kid. The whole King Arthur and the castle and all, dragons and so on and so on. Investigating over in Scotland, which is my heritage, um, and to investigate because my son actually found our clan crest, our clan fort or castle, um, our colors for our kilts, and actually he's getting married in October, and we are wearing kilts that are have our clan colors. I would love to find that because it still stands. That was our fort for the clan or the castle. That would be the ultimate. Would go there because of the heritage. Who all would be there.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Very interesting. Okay, well, you know what? If I win the lottery, we're going.
I'm right there with you. I'm not going to tell you no.
Hey, we're going. Yeah, hey, you know what? And we can drive. Don't ask me how we're gonna drive, but we're gonna drive. Maybe I get one of them water car boats where we can drive to over there. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but that should be an interesting trip.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, hey Rex, tell the world how to get a hold of you, man.
Okay, you can get a hold of me on Facebook on my regular Facebook page, Rex Nielsen. You can get a hold of me on All Out Paranormal Facebook page, or you can get a hold of me on my art page, which is Unexplainable Art. Um, and the phone number that is on my paranormal and my art pages is my personal cell phone. So if you want to get a hold of me, by God, give me a call. If
There
I
you
don't answer, leave a message. I will call you right back.
All right. Well, you know what, man? It has been an honor and a pleasure talking to you. I really enjoyed it. We have a excellent podcast and conversation, uh, different conversations about different aspects of the paranormal, field, the things that we enjoy and love. We fascinate about it, So I'd like to say thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, you know. And feel free to share this podcast with everybody. Man, it is pouring down raining. As much as you like.
I'm, and I have to say, I'm absolutely honored that you asked me to be on the show. Um, I can truly say this is one of the most enlightening, educational, and fun podcasts that I've ever done. And
Well,
I've done a shitload over the last few years. And
well,
this one is just beyond. I mean, I could talk all night with you. I mean, this has been fantastic.
well, it's been an honor. Thank you. I
Thank
really enjoyed
you.
the conversation, and I can say, hey, let's do it again.
Absolutely.
Let
Anytime.
I'm a big UFO fan. I don't know how you feel about ufology, but I can talk days about UFOs, and I'm
Yep.
not much on cryptids because they're far and few down here. Uh, but who's to say? If I can't pick up a book or read something about it, I might learn something. Correct? There you go. You never know.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, I'm gonna let you enjoy the rest of your day. Tell your cat I said hello. Tell your wife I said hello.
I
And
definitely will.
I'll be calling you back in a month or so to check up on you to see how you're doing, and just like I do everybody else. And possibly get you and your wife on the show if she's up to it. I know she's out spending your money right now, but you know. But maybe I can get both of you guys on the show. So, it'll make things a lot easier on you. You know what I'm saying? But hey guys, those of you that were in the chat, hey man, make sure you go over and hit those like, share, subscribe on all his Facebook channels, pages, and make sure you hit that follow button, man. You want to follow this guy and check out all his adventures, and if you want to go over to his art page, please go over there and check that out also. But with me, you guys know the deal. If you guys give me that HBO special, help a brother out, hey, things will be great. In the meantime, hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast signing off. I will see most of you guys tomorrow on Sunday evening podcast. Hell, I forgot who's going to be on the show tomorrow, but I'll figure it out. Well, anyway, hey, Rex, you enjoy the rest of your evening, brother. And I will talk to you soon.
You betcha.
All right, you have yourself a good one now.
You too.